Hi, this is Dr. Lorene Richards Usher with our 35th learning session of our 52 learning series for this year, 2025, under the theme Visionary Parenting. This week, we are going to be discussing understanding the parents child bond. And the question is asked, what is the parent child bond? And today, or this week, we're going to learn that the parent child bond refers to the emotional connection that forms between a parent or a caregiver and a child. Typically, this begins in infancy. This bond forms the foundation for how the child relates to the world and others. Now, the word bond is also referred to the word attachment. Attachment is the most studied aspect of the word bond because it begins forming during pregnancy and continues through early caregiving experiences. This begins from the womb of the mother to start bonding with her child. And not just the mother, if the father is present, also the father can bond with that child. So the word attachment comes from the theory, two psychologists by the name of John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. And they're saying that attachment theory is the psychological framework that most commonly used to understand the parent child bond. And so we're going to look at four types of attachment. Number one, we have the secure attachment. Number two, the insecure avoidant. Number three, insecure ambivalent. And number four, disorganized attachment. Let's go in depth with each one of these. And so the secure attachment, it comes from the child feels safe and protected. And not only feels safe and protected, but also parents are responsive, consistent, and nurturing, and also leads to confidence, empathy, and healthy relationships later in life. And when I see this number one, secure attachment, I can remember last year at the ending of the school year, I noticed something. I've been seeing this with one of our students at school. And as I mentioned to you parents, I often give these stories because this is how we actually, I actually come up with these topics because of observation. I noticed this little student, grade one, so every time she has to go home, she would, if the mother come to pick her up, is a crying. She lives with the mother. She lives also with her dad. But whenever the mom comes to pick her up, she's always crying, never want to go home because she was not attached to the mom. She's actually attached to grandmother. So I'm trying to figure out why is it that this little child is happy when grandma come to pick her up. And as I try to figure out that, that's why I came up with this topic for this week. the bonding. She's not bonding with mommy. Mommy worked very hard. Mommy gives her everything. You can see that mommy loves her, but the bonding is just not there. She's not attached to her. She's more attached to her caregiver, which is grandma. Grandma is always there. And we're going to, as we go forward, you're going to see why is it that that attachment is formed. Number two, insecure avoidant. This actually tells us that parent may be emotionally unavailable or rejected. So I can see that this is a cycle. And being a cycle, this was has to do from childhood. Probably I'm just saying I do not know the history of this mother, but I can observe based on observation that probably the mom herself was not nurtured when she was a young child and she becomes an adult. She doesn't know how to actually nurture or bond with her own little child. So the child learns to suppress the emotions to avoid that rejection. The mom dearly loved her little girl, but because she herself did not was not attached to probably her mother, it is difficult for her to actually create that attachment for her daughter. Now, the grandmother, I know a little bit of her story because grandma had a very hard life. So because she had a very hard life to raise her children, that attachment was not there because she was always absent. And now she tries, since she's older, she tries now to find that attachment with her daughter. And that is why the granddaughter developed that attachment to her. So, parents, do you see how this can affect your child even in adulthood? Number three, insecure, ambivalent. And this is because parent is inconsistent. And I'm sure you're going to remember this. I often say that consistency is the key and intentionality is the key. Two keys for parenting to make parenting easier and effective. And sometimes loving, sometimes neglectful. You can see the inconsistency here with a parent that is ambivalent. Sometimes the parent is loving and sometimes neglectful. So, what that does, it confuses your children. And also, your child can become very clingy and secure of the caregiver's ability. And the child will suppress that feelings, but yet clingy because the child is looking for that security. All right. Number four, disorganized attachment. And the word is saying it, disorganized, which often link to trauma, unresolved trauma. Let me repeat this, parents. Unresolved trauma. And if the parent have some sort of abuse in the past or severe neglect, this is where the parent become disorganized. So it's a disorganized attachment where the child shows contradictory behaviors because the child doesn't understand, okay, Is my parents in the mood today? Is there Are they not in the mood today? How do I behave today? Do I cling to them? Do I try to find security in them? And so it makes the child be very insecure in getting close to you as a parent. So I want to encourage you here, parent, to make sure if you have unresolved traumas and any sort of abuse in your past, in your childhood, to get it unresolved so you're able to have a better bonding with your child or your children. Okay, how the bond is formed. Let's look at this. Early responsiveness. And what is early responsiveness? It means holding your child close to you at an early age from notice when your baby is born. What is the first thing that the nurses or the doctor that attend to you as the baby comes out, the first thing they do actually is to put that baby on your chest to feel your heart beat, for you to bond with your child, for you to hug your child, for you to kiss your child, and also for you to feed your child, because that breastfeeding is what creates a bond, an eternal bond with you and your little one. Just looking in the face of your baby, in the eyes of your baby, and bonding together, it creates that security attachment. The next is the eye contact, as I mentioned earlier, the touch, the voice tone. Your voice tone play a very important role in forming that bond. Speaking softly in the ears of your little ones, at birth, and as they're growing, do not scream at your little ones. Speak with a loving tone voice. Consistent caregiving routines. And this word is used a lot in my series. Consistency. Consistent caregiving routines. Look at this mom. This is a routine. She's coming from work. The child is coming from school. And look at that routine. Hugging, putting her face together, with both she and her little one. Just that routine, it brings that bond, it forms that bond together. And it also, the emotional attachment, recognizing and validating the child's feelings. So your child come home to you and tell you, I am feeling this way today. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling happy. I feel this. This is what I think. Validate your child's feelings, emotional feelings, because it's going to help them to learn how to regulate their feelings. All right, let's look at the importance of bonding. The importance of bonding, it creates cognitive development. And so your child will go through a normal, a consistent, and a positive cognitive development. A secure bond boost, because this is going to boost the brain development through the enriched bonding. That is why it's important, parents, to bond with your little ones. And I've noticed in school that the parents that are highly bonding with their little ones, they do well academically. And not well academically, also socially and emotionally. They're very loving. um children when they're bonding in a normal, positive way with their parents. And their social interaction is very, very high as well. Next, the emotional regulation. It securely attached children and it helped them to manage their stress and emotions better. So you find that a child that is emotionally um, is attached to their parents and they have a good bonding with their parents, they know exactly how to regulate their emotions. If someone tell them something that hurts them, they know who they are. They know who loves them. They know who they're attached to. They know who actually is there to support them. And they're able to manage themselves emotionally better. It won't trigger them to become sad and depressed and anxious because a classmate, you know, doesn't love them or a classmate look at them in a bad way or something like that. Once they're attached to their parents and they are secure, they know who they are. All right. Self-esteem, also a feeling love, just what I'm saying just now, and supported, it builds that confidence of self-worth. So parents, I encourage you to if you feel that you can do a little more with bonding with your little ones, please start that now. It also helps them with their social relationships. You know, the early bond teach them empathy, it teach them trust, and it helps them to cooperate. So what is the parents' roles in bonding? All right. There are different types of parenting styles. And these parenting styles play certain roles in the bonding and the attachment to their parents. Like, for example, we have four types of parenting style. We have the authoritative, we have the authoritarian, the permissive, and the neglectful. Now, the authoritative parenting style, they're very high warmed parents, meaning that they're loving, but they have firm boundaries. All right. And the effect on bonding is that it fosters secure attachment. So now, as I go through this, I want you to start thinking and reflecting, what type of parenting style are you using with your children in regards to bonding? Then, number two, we have the authoritarian. The authoritarian parenting style is very low in warmth. So they're not actually much of a loving parents. And they have high control, very strict. So, let's look at the effect on the bonding from an authoritarian parent. It leads to anxiety and it also leads to avoidant attachment, because remember, the authoritarian, they are very strict, nothing past them, and they're going to do it without love. Number three, permissive parenting. A permissive parenting style, very high in warmth, very loving, very caring, but they're very low in control. You know, today they will set rules. Tomorrow they forgot the rules that they set up and they're all over the place. Mentally, everything. So the result in the effect of bonding can result in insecurity due to the lack of structure. I don't think you want to be in that parenting style. So if you feel like you're in that parenting style, start thinking about it. All right. Then you have the neglectful one, which is very low in warmth, not loving, very low in control, no structure. So this is the effect it has on bonding, often leads to disorganized attachment. So the child don't even know if you care for the child. The child is not even attached to you. The child just know that you're the parent, and that's about it. And then you have these children that grow up to become adults. So what do you think is going to happen to their children? Are you seeing the big picture here? Yes, I'm sure that you are seeing it. So let's see what you can do to improve the parent child bond. So be present. How can you be present? Simply spend quality time more than quantity. Have you even seen that parents taking their child? Okay, I can remember this. This parent, second grader, she I'm laughing because this is interesting. She has a good job, professional, but she's in so many things that she's often neglecting, her little one. So she often creates two types of vacation during the school year. Can you believe that? Would take the child out of school for an entire week to take her on vacation because she needs to bond with the child. And then when she comes back from the vacation, she said to me, my child is so ungrateful because she said she wanted to be in school. She did not want to go on any vacation because she's supposed to be in school. So the child is not enjoying this. You know why? Because it's quantity. Taking the child here, taking the child there to try to bond with the child, but that's not what the child wants. She wants quality time together. So, parents, be present. All right? Practice active listening. Let children express themselves. Let them see you looking in their eyes and paying attention to what they're saying and try to understand what they're saying. Repeat back to them what you're saying for them to see that you are understanding what they are telling you. Validate their emotions. Even if you disagree, show understanding. Okay? Create routines, stability, faster, security. So create routines. Model healthy behavior. Children internalize what they observe. So if you're not modeling that, you're just taking your child to, have a good time and vacation and this and that, and you are the one that enjoying the vacation and not the child, they're observing that. All right. And they're going to grow up to do the same thing when they have their children. So I want you to reflect on these things if you want your child to be successful in life. What is the lifelong impact of bonding with your child or your children? Adult relationships. And I keep repeating that over and over. The adult relationships. Your child is going to grow up to be a balanced adult and are able to navigate um, their adulthood with security and also bring that. If they have children, they will also bring that to their children. They will model that to their children. The parenting style in the next generation. Those are the lifelong impact. So if you are an authoritarian parent, what is going to happen here? Authoritative, I'm sorry, which is high warmth, very loving, and have firm boundaries you're going to foster a secure attachment. And this is what your children or your child is going to emulate when they have their children. It will also give them a mental health stability. They're not all over the place and become dysfunctional, in what they do. I've seen that over and over. I've worked with parents for over 30 something years, going on 40 years, and I'm telling you, I watch these behaviors. It also, the lifelong impact is the resilience and coping mechanism. So, parents, you want to create this attachment that brings security. I got a call last week from a parent that I actually over 15 years I had this student in my classroom. Uh in my classroom when I was teaching grade 5, and then I became the principal, so I was this young man. He's a young adult right now. I was his principal when he was in grade 7, so grade 6, 7 and 8. And I saw great potential in him. And one of the things that I admire with his parents, that they were very, very consistent. They had goals set for their 4 children. And this young man, he is the oldest of the 4 children. But the mother worked hard and she set goals for the 4 of them based on their personalities. I remember working with her. It give me chills while I'm saying this. Working with her with her children, she would come in, ask questions. I would do the research and tell her exactly how to maneuver what she was asking. And so last week, she called me and she said, I'm calling you because I have good news for you. I was like, yes. She said to me, my son is going to have a ceremony to put on his white coat. He's becoming a heart surgeon. And I want you to be there. But this is going to be a surprise for him, because I remember how you walk with me alongside, counseling me and helping me with my 4 children. The other 3, they're in college. He is the one going to be wearing his white coat. And I want you to be there. I want you to be there to surprise him. I got chills. I was like, wow, this parent, after 15 years, she remembered that. And she wants me to be part of this ceremony alongside with her to see her son wear his white coat. And I'm saying this, parents, to say that the reason why these series are so important to me, and it should be important to you, is because you are raising the present and the future generation. And I would like to be part of that. So I'm asking you to please, as you look at these learning sessions and these learning series, take it serious. I want to leave this exercise with you this week. Think of a recent time when you felt truly connected to your child. What were you doing together? Just think about that. Write it, journal it. How did you feel in that moment? Write it in your journal. How did your child respond to you? Write those things down. And then when you go back to read it, that will help you to either do better or to do more. All right? Just remember, parenting is not easy. Just be consistent, just be intentional, and remember that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, as Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Thank you very much for learning. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being active parent when it comes to parenting. All right, because we're here to support you, Parenthood Consultancy Services. We're here to support you because our only objective here is to champion you as a parent for legacy success. Thank you for listening and thank you for learning. Now, remember every Thursday at this same link, we are here at 7 o'clock for you to come on and meet us in person via Zoom. As we can sit, you can ask your questions, and we're here to support you in a special way. Thank you so much.